So, Strange New Worlds cruises on into Memento Mori. I don't know. It's going to be tough because, oddly enough, it wasn't all that memorable. I guess this was a Leon Noonan Singh episode, which is a character that just shouldn't exist on there. Even though it's an alternate universe where number one's an alien with super strength. Oh, boy. And worst of all, another nod to Michael Burnham in this show. It's just, but, yeah. Well, anyway, this is an episode where I guess the aspect of it, like I keep saying, each episode is an episode that it's almost a Star Trek episode. They never quite get there in spite of themselves. And so this one, I guess, centers around the idea of the starship battle. You know, you had that in the original series, and then, of course, magnified to the nth degree in Wrath of Khan and that sort of thing. And so here you have pretty much the same thing. They're chased by the Gorn. Yeah, the Gorn. You never did get to see the Gorn ship in the original series, and maybe that's for the best. I thought they did work out a design later on. If that was canon or not, I can't remember. But, boy, I tell you, Bad Robot and Secret Hideout, they're terrible at ship design. They really can't do it. If it's something already established, they can just sort of, add little details to it, and that's about it. But that's one of the things that that bothered me. Well, one of the things, really minor, actually, about the Disney Star Wars and The Force Awakens. I was like, only the old ships looked cool. All the new ships were just silver bricks. They didn't really try to do any good ship design. And here it's just this sort of three-pronged thing that twists around, and there's not much to it. But it's an alien ship, so, well, who knows? Yeah. So the reason it's for Leon is because she or her family or whatever got captured by the Gorn, and she managed to escape, I guess by playing possum or something. And so she can have a horrific backstory, which everybody on the show now has, apparently. And but also that she could explain her tough as nails, and she doesn't let anybody get near her, like Natasha Yar was. It's the same character, except not as good. And also stupidly tied to Khan and all that stuff. A completely unnecessary character. Really, I thought they should have had number one be the toughest nails character here and all that, but they didn't do that. So this is her show, because she realizes it's the Gorn, and once again she basically takes command of the ship. Captain Pike gets to have a few moments here. Finally, this is what, the 4th or 5th episode in? I forget. But it's brief and few and far between, because it's all Leon tells them what to do, really. And they have this rescue mission of this ship, and they find these people, and they're like, oh my god, thanks for saving us, we were nearly lost and all that. And there's some sort of radiation leak, so they can't transport them over, so they connect the ship to theirs and all that. And that turns out to be a problem. It's a trap by the Gorn, and they can't raise their shields, and they get shot up and stuff. But one of the survivors is a little girl, and tells Leon she saw monsters, and of course none of the parents believe her or anything, but Leon does. What did the monster look like, and all this stuff. I didn't get a good look at him, but he made a sound like, so it clicks its tongue or something. But Leon instantly recognizes, oh, this is the sound of the Gorn. Now, that's not the sound they made in the original show. They sound like, yee, yee. But, oh well. I guess they wanted it to sound like the Predator, in the movie and all that. So, yeah, okay. So that's the deal, but she couldn't quite remember something from her past, so Spock does the mind meld with her, and she had some friend who he dies at the hands of the Gorn, but he managed to decipher their language and gave her a book with all the codes and everything. So she remembers it now, and they're able to at least figure out the Gorn better. And Pike has to come up with maneuvers on how to outfox them. And meanwhile, there's this black hole nearby, so they make use of that. So they still go into a nebula, just like in Wrath of Khan, to lose the enemy. but it's in conjunction with this black hole. And they end up using the black hole as a slingshot off of its gravitational well to escape. But before they do that, they're able to draw in some of the Gorn ship, and their ships just aren't as structurally sound as the Enterprise, so they get destroyed. Anyway, the Gorn are basically they're the predator. They like to hunt people, and so that's their main goal in life. And Leon's all concerned that they're this far into Federation space. It's not a good sign. So once again, you have to conclude that this is an alternate timeline. It doesn't fit with the original show because they had never encountered the Gorn before until Kirk and crew did, when the Gorn showed up and destroyed a Federation base. Kirk pursues them, and then these godlike beings, yes, another one of those, decide to intervene and force Kirk and the Gorn captain to settle it amongst themselves, and that's when Kirk had to fight that guy in the lizard suit on that planet. So that was the one and only time you saw any Gorn in Star Trek. Now, Enterprise did an episode where one of the Gorn showed up. I mean, it's how much of it. But yeah, there again, I think that was the only time they'd seen a Gorn, was in that episode. It wouldn't work for Enterprise either. Enterprise did stupid stuff like that. At least with the Romulans, they kept them hidden. I mean, the audience got to see them, but the crew didn't. And then there was the Borg showed up. The Borg should never have shown up in that series. Stupid stuff like that. Well, here you have the alternate universe. It's the only way it works. Of course, then again, theoretically, you could argue that time had changed, especially since Enterprise dealt with the temporal Cold War and was explaining things weren't the way they were supposed to be and that sort of stuff. So, oh well, whatever. So, that's what they do. They have their little ship battle. Number one gets injured, so she's pretty much out of action, and they only have so much blood left, and she says, use it for the others. And then turns out that Dr. Mbinga used his own blood for her, and she wakes up and sees that they're connected, and he's like giving her a smile, and she smiles back. That's sweet. Meanwhile, there was a massive power outages and stuff aboard the ship because it was being damaged and everything. So I guess that's it for Dr. Mbinga's daughter, huh? How could he maintain the pattern unless he brought her back to just, gee, hold out until we can beam you back into it? You know, didn't see any of that. So, yeah, that's probably not going to work. Then Uhura and Hemmer had a moment, and not really. He broke his hand, and she had to help him. That was about it. So, yeah, the Michael Burnham, during the mind meld, Leon probed into Spock's mind, and you have a sister, but it's not in the official record. No, it's not. It's time to end this mind meld, you know. And so, the least you mention STD, the better off the show will be. Yeah, but I guess they're stuck with that. So, kind of, sort of, almost a Star Trek episode, just pretty bereft of any, sci-fi concept, other than, I guess, the black hole, but they probably got that wrong, too. I'm no astrophysicist, but, yeah. Special effects look cool. And that's it.